So why don't you just quit? That's what a doctor said to me some years ago. I had gone in there because I had bronchitis, and when he took my blood pressure, it was high. So I began to explain to him how stressful my job was that possibly was causing my blood pressure to be high. And he looked at me with a very serious face and said, "So why don't you just quit?" Little did I know that that would become a reality. And you're probably looking at me like I was looking at him. Are you crazy? I can't just quit my job. But let me tell you something, people. When your job starts to affect your physical and mental health, it is time for you to look for new employment. And yeah, I know it's scary because I've been there several times. And before I get into my experience, I want to give a shout out to the YouTube creator Dough Dash, Dough, as in money, Dash, because she's been encouraging those of us who are 50 and over to start a YouTube channel. Now, I've had a YouTube channel for 10 years. I went back and looked at it the other day as I was watching her videos and being encouraged by her. And when I started my channel 10 years ago, I started it for fun. I loved fashion. I loved hair. I loved makeup, cooking. If you go and look, you'll see I have videos on all those things. But what pushed me into the YouTube world was I bought this wig. And when the wig came, it was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. And I was so excited. And I said, oh my goodness, I have got to make this video on YouTube. Didn't have a clue what I was doing. I just grabbed my phone and started recording this video. Okay, so fast forward to now. I was off and on, wasn't consistent with videos or anything. But once I started watching Dodash, and she encouraged those of us who are 50 and older to start a YouTube channel. And the thing that inspired me about it was she said, we have knowledge and experience. Knowledge and experience that other people need to hear, that want to hear, that need to be encouraged. Uh, and so I was determined to get back on my channel with consistency. And so I'm going to share with you today why it is so important for you to take your mental and physical health above your job. I know right now of two personal instances and one that was in the news in August, I'm going to tell you about it, where individuals died on the job. One very dear friend of mine, her daughter, in her 30s, died at her computer and left 3 small children. Thankfully enough, her mother was able to raise those children with the assistance of their dad, but the dad, they were not together, okay, I'm not going to go into all that. But her mother was able to raise those children. A very dear family that we've been friends with for years, their son was, along with mine, 40 years old, died at work. Now, if you go on Google and you type in employees died on the job or at work, there's an article on there. It's dated August 2024, where this woman died at her desk and was there for 4 days before anyone discovered her body. You heard me. 4 days. How in the world? Now, if you read the article, she worked at Wells Fargo. It says her desk was in a location, a remote location in the office. Okay. Um, it also says that the employees smelled an odor, but they thought it was coming from the plumbing. You mean nobody investigated it? And the fact that no family called to check on her, it kind of gives the indication that she was alone. Security found her 4 days after she died at her desk. What was security doing? Okay. Now, these people could have had pre-existing health conditions, but I'm almost sure that the stress they experienced on their job contributed to whatever was going on with them, because I've been there. So let me tell you a little bit about me. I graduated high school at 16 and a half years old. I had taken my academic courses in high school, and then I took business courses. So I went to school, high school half a day, business school the other half a day. Sorry, guys, my phone. And so I had taken accounting, typing, stenography, all those things associated with business. When I was about to graduate, my mother sat me down and she said, Cheryl, do you want to go to college? Because I guess I was not that excited about it. And I said, no. I was sick of school. I did not want to see another school. I wanted to go to work. So I started my job search. The problem I was having as a stenographer was my age. Nobody wanted to hire a 16-and-a-half-year-old stenographer. And one man told me that on the interview. So my first job, I narrowed my search to clerical because I figured, okay, I could get a typing job and possibly just work my way up. And so the first job I had was at Addressograph Multigraph here in St. Louis. They no longer exist. But we typed on the metal plates that are used to emboss your credit card or your membership card, whatever card it was. That was the template. And I was there for 9 months, and then they started to lay off. And of course, I was the last one hired, so I was the first one to go. After that, I said, okay, let me just look for clerical jobs because I wasn't having very much success with the stenography. I got hired at a major insurance company. And I'm going to tell you guys that I am a talker and I am a very detailed person. So I am trying my very hardest to compact this information so that this video is not too long. So I got hired at this major insurance company. While I was there, they would transfer me from office to office. All the offices were in the county, so I was in North County, South County, West County. Okay. I was sent to an office in South County, and when I got there, one of my duties was to take dictation from management. And so I went in and I took dictation from one of the managers. I went back to my desk. I typed up the letter. I went back into his office to get his signature on the letter. And he said, you're done that quick? I said, yes. He said, I have never gotten a letter back this fast. I said, okay. So he signed the letter. I went back to my desk and finished my work. What happened as the other managers began to use me, it got back to the supervisor. Oh my goodness, she's great. Oh my goodness, she did this, that, did. Okay. Well, it backfired because what happened, the girl who was doing the job before I got there was the supervisor's pet, and it was making her look bad. And rather than the supervisor commending me on a great job, she used it against me. She gave me more work. It was more like, okay, let's see if she can do this. Let's see if she can do that. So the stress mounted and mounted and mounted. Um, and then one day, I was standing at the mail docket. You can imagine a wooden uh, area with boxes, like post office putting mail in. Okay. She walked over to me and she says to me, "Those managers sure love you, whatever you do." Now, I don't know how you would have taken that, but I did not take it very well. I'm an emotional person anyway. It didn't sound very good. And it was meant to break my spirit, and it did just that. Um, I didn't think me doing a video on this, I'm sorry, would affect me this way. So I'm sorry, guys. Anyway, um, my husband picked me up that day. I didn't drive because we were going to take the kids to the movies. And so when he picked me up, we were on the highway on our way to the movies. And I said to him, I said, I can't breathe. He said, "What do you mean you can't breathe?" He said, "Roll your window down." I said, "No, it's not. I don't need air." I said, "I can't breathe." I said, "You're going to have to take me to the emergency room." We went to the hospital, to the emergency room. And when I got there and they examined me, they said, "You're having an anxiety attack." And they gave me some medication. And the doctor said, "You're going to have to rest for a couple of days." And so I did. I called the office and told my supervisor I would be off for a couple of days. I stayed at home. I didn't have a very good reaction to the medication, and so I stopped taking it. Um, After a few days, I went back to work. Uh, Nothing changed. The stress level didn't change. I got in my car to go home one night, and I was on the highway, and I had what I'd never experienced before. I didn't know what was going on. If you know anything about anxiety, it's different for all people. Different people have different experiences. If a person tells you they have anxieties, please don't downplay it because it's very serious. I felt like I was not in control, like I was having an outer body, I know that sounds crazy, experience, but I couldn't drive my car. I pulled over to the side of the road and I sat there for about 10 minutes. Uh, I was praying, and then finally I calmed down to the point where I could continue going home. Um, Thankfully, I was transferred from that location to another location, which I thought would be a lot better. It wasn't. Um, and I'm going to talk about that in my next video. But the point that I want to make to you today, do not take your health lightly. If you are on a job and you are stressed to the max, you need to leave. I'm going to make some videos and I'm going to tell you some of the things that I did while I was in between jobs. There is no shame in my game. I will scrub a toilet, and I have, okay? My mother and I used to laugh because we say, toilets don't talk back. It was probably the happiest period of working in my life. But I'm going to tell you guys all about that and all the details about my journey in the workplace. And I hope that you take this very serious. And I hope that you realize that you are more important than that job. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, listening to my video. I hope you subscribe to my channel because I've got some experiences that I know you're going to love, relate to, and be glad that you heard them. I want to again give a shout out to Miss Doe Dash. Look her up. I'm going to put a link to her video uh, so you can be inspired by her too. And if you are like me, I am way over 50. But if you are over 50 like I am, and you have things to say that can inspire people, please, please, please start a YouTube channel. You'll be glad you did. All right, guys, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.